First time that I remember feeling the hand of God on my life, I was very young, but I didn't have language for what my calling was. I just felt the nearness of God on my life from a young age, and it wasn't until maybe 12 or 15 years ago, I was already an adult. I was already probably 18 years old, 20 years old, that I began to discover that my calling was to lead the nations in worship, part of my calling. And I would just encourage young people who are watching this today, your calling a lot of times is wrapped up in what you love to do. Like God puts different gifts and different pleasures on your life that He wants you to use, and He wants to actually anoint you to use those gifts to bring Him glory. And a lot of times when you pursue that, you find yourself stepping into your calling. So that's how I would encourage you guys to do that. The way I would encourage you guys to pursue your calling, it's not just spiritual. Like, of course, you want to pray, you want to worship, but if you feel called to, in my case, if I feel called to be a musician, I need to practice my instrument. I need to learn music theology. Whatever your dream or your gifts are, I would encourage you just the same way that you are spiritual, be natural with it too. If you're an artist, go to school, learn art techniques. It's one thing for me to give you an instrument. You have the gift, but it's another thing for you to practice. So I would encourage you guys, just the same way that you're going to pray and seek God, also practice in the natural as well. And that's going to help you pursue that calling. Also, be faithful with little opportunities. You're not always going to have huge opportunities right away. I would encourage you guys, be faithful with the little opportunities, be consistent with them, and those are two practical ways that you can pursue your calling. The way that I get people into unity has nothing to do with music or the song. It's about stirring up love for one another. So a lot of times I'll encourage them to speak to one another or give each other a hug or take somebody's hand, because unity has nothing to do with the music. It has everything to do with brotherly love, sisterly love. So if you can get unity in the room, you get breakthrough. So I want to encourage you guys, if you're a worship leader, unity is not about the song or the music. It's about getting the spirit of love stirred up in the room. And then when unity comes, God commands His blessing on the unity. Psalm 133.
Oh
there is no difference if it's a very small gathering, if it's me privately, or if it's in a huge auditorium or even stadiums. We're part of big stadium prayer meetings. For me, it's not about the size of who is in the meeting, because I carry the atmosphere with me. I am the one who changes the atmosphere, not out of my own authority, but through intimacy with Jesus. When I've been with Jesus, when I've been in His Word, I'm carrying the atmosphere, the culture of heaven with me. So it doesn't matter if there's one person in the room or if there's 10,000 in the room, I am going to usher in that culture. And instead of trying to determine what's going on in the atmosphere, I am going to be the one to set the atmosphere. And that's how I do it with worship.
Come on, lift it up, lift it up. Lift your voice. We lift up the name of Jesus. The name of Jesus. We lift up the name of Jesus.
I think we are in a day where Sunday morning only Christianity is dead. Jesus didn't die for a bride once a week on a Sunday morning. He died for an all-day, everyday bride. So I think we're living in a day right now where houses of worship, God is changing the expression of Christianity in one generation. We're going to see it break out on Tuesday nights and Friday mornings, and we're going to see just a culture of heaven raise up, especially through young people. We're going to see them get together around the presence. It has nothing to do with a day. It has everything to do with the presence, with community, and discipleship. All of that stuff come together. So it's not just a Sunday morning thing. It's an everyday thing. If you love Jesus, then we need to be His bride 7 days a week.
Let's ask Him for a fresh outpouring right now. Come on.